next item is our talk of the evening, which will be given, I think, then by Lori Pappas, who is the outreach and executive of, the outreach director at the Flagstaff, Discover Flagstaff organization. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Very good.
You do a better job than I will.
Yeah, I'll perfectly fine. So I am the marketing and media relations manager for Discover Flagstaff. And team, I would like to share my screen and share a PowerPoint. I'm going to dig in and Dawn, maybe if you could look for hands or questions or whatever, I can take them as they arise. But if you could be my eyes on the participants, that would sure be appreciated. Does that sound good for you?
Okay.
Okay, good. All right. So Discover Flagstaff, just a little bit of background for those who aren't maybe as intimate and familiar with the organization. We are the marketing arm for the city of Flagstaff, and primarily our role is in the tourism wheelhouse. So dark skies, astrotourism is definitely a topic that we embrace, and we embrace it fully, lovingly. It is a subject that we talk about, I will say, as frequent as daily, and not kidding. We have a team of 11, which does not include part-time staff that is over at the visitor center. So we are officed in the Milligan House, which is adjacent to the City Hall parking lot, across from the main city library, the corner of St. Greaves and Aspen. Okay, so that's a little bit about our organization. Getting into the topic as far as dark skies, astrotourism, and the marketing efforts that we put behind those topics. So long before, let me back up. For years, we have been pushing out communication relative to dark skies, relative and in support of our observatory, meteor crater, USGS, sunset crater, multiple areas that can be pointed to in our lunar legacy passport, as far as the different locations within the city that have played a role in the Apollo missions. There's a long lineage of the things that we have supported. Going forward, we have recently, meaning in the last maybe 8 months, in collaboration with Lowell Observatory and Meteor Crater, we did secure, and James, you had alluded to this, we did secure a grant from the Arizona Office of Tourism. It's a Visit Arizona Initiative grant. And we have mobilized, and I'm going to get into that in a moment and share some of the things that we've been doing with that grant. But for the most part, what we aim to do as an organization is educate, inspire, and motivate visitation, responsible visitation to Flagstaff. So there's a lot of things that we support. So just super high level, we do a lot of marketing for our restaurants, for the various attractions in town. We support festivals, Route 66. We have programming around road trips. Again, things to educate, inspire, and motivate responsible visitation to our destination. Let's see, I think I am going to go ahead and go to the next slide. There we go. We're going to look at a video that we recently pushed out, and this is with meteor crater, and we did something similar too with the good folks over at Lowell Observatory. Before I press play so we can take a look at it, and I'm thinking it's about maybe a 2.5-minute video, I want to share maybe some framing that we do with this marketing. And the first thing would be our target audience. So when we push out, and when I say push out, it's amplifying, getting our message out to an audience. The audience is very granular. So we are reaching people with psychographics, such as the amateur astronomers, and we can say that they're very technology oriented. They probably, like I had heard earlier, they own a telescope. They're science lovers. They're also history buffs. They are experience seekers. So they're driven by new things and not necessarily space. So we are trying to uncover some new audience. They're space enthusiasts. They're geologists. They are young families spanning to retirees. And as far as geographies, we are pitching our drive and flight markets, and we define a drive market as anything within an 8-hour or less drive time. So that also includes Metro Phoenix, of course, south of there to Tucson, California, Albuquerque, Las Vegas, and then Dallas, which is a flight market as well. So those are the primary geographies that we are marketing to. And then also this past spring, you all may or may not be baseball aficionados, but the Cactus League, Major League Baseball teams do train in Metro Phoenix. And the reason I bring that up is that we did expand our geographies to coordinate or to be parallel with some of the teams that are spring training in Phoenix. And the reason we did that is that we know through the Arizona Office of Tourism's research that there's just a little shy of 500,000 people that say that they do plan to visit a national park, national monument, or state park during their visit to Phoenix. So if they're going to fold that in, we want to make sure that we educate them and motivate them to also fold in the opportunity of dark skies. So our strategy here is to create and establish visitation demand by positioning Flagstaff as the world's best destination for astrotourism, with support on many of the attractions that I had mentioned before, which the two key partners here are Lowell Observatory and Meteor Crater. So let's go ahead and take a look at this spot.
We all know Flagstaff for the hiking, the skiing, the mountain biking, but less than an hour east of town, Astrotourism is making an impact.
Space and Earth came together and made this really major explosion. This is the largest original piece of the meteorite that made Meteor Crater. Every astronaut learned how to navigate a crater right here at Meteor Crater training. It's a tremendous impact. It just flipped the Earth inside out. Meteor Crater has been here for 50,000 years. It is the first proven, best preserved meteorite impact site on Earth. These impact sites happen, but rarely are they this well maintained and preserved so that we can study them. Here in Arizona, we're lucky to have it because there's nothing else on Earth like it. There literally is not another crater that's in this kind of condition, that's in this kind of shape, that scientists and regular people can just come and look at and study. It's just an amazing, unique feature. Well, it was about 150 meters wide, and it hit with the force of about 20 tons of TNT. It was a major, major explosion and impact. And everything that was living within a 7-mile radius was really just killed off and disintegrated. The very first reaction is, wow, we didn't know it was this big. You know, that's always what they say first. Secondly is I think a lot of people marvel at what has happened to the ground. I mean, you can really feel the impact and the force of what happened here when you see giant boulders as big as a house flipped upwards and set up on top of the rim. This baby is the Holsinger meteorite. This is the largest found remaining fragment. Most of the meteorite vaporized on impact, but this is the largest remaining fragment of the meteorite that made Meteor Crater. And the wonderful thing about it is this is not a replica, this is the real thing. This weighs 1,400 pounds. And one of the cool things is you'll see it's all shiny from everybody touching it over the last 30, 40 years that it's been out here. We just opened the Meteor Crater Mining Company, and we opened a coffee house that has, it's like you're walking back in time. It's got old timbers and wood and artifacts from actually pulled from the old mining camp that's around the crater. Being only 45 minutes outside of Flagstaff, it's an easy drive right down I-40. You can come right out, go right back. And if you choose to stay in this area or be in Flagstaff, you can put this on your list. We've tried to make this a really unique destination. You know, Flagstaff in this area is the world's best astrotourism destination. And Meteor Crater is just one component in this area that makes it unique.
I'm trusting that audio came through. Did you all get to? Good.
Mhm.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So this particular video aired in November. Lowell had a very similar video that aired in January. Estimated audience was about 35,000 people in our #1 drive market, which was Metro Phoenix. Any questions thus far? Good deal. All right. In the next few slides, we're going to review some of the programming. But first, I want to share some of the support provided by our website. I think you all will be happy to hear that our Astrotourism landing page ranked the #6 most visited page in the past 12 months. So you can see that we do put a lot of effort behind Astrotourism. And when we started the grant, I can't see all the people, but I'm sure Danielle will be giving us a head nod. We did some improvements on our website. So we created the Astrotourism page. We added sub-navigation. We created more content, and we amplified the content, and we're currently amplifying the content, and I'll show you what I mean by that here in the next few slides. We also leveraged some of our media buys. So not only are we utilizing owned media, and when you hear me say owned media, I'm talking about our social media platforms, as well as our website, as well as our visitor center. Paid media is exactly what it sounds like. It's purchasing, advertising, and very strategically selected mediums. And then we also push out with earned media. And I think earned media, Dawn, was mentioned in the email that you sent inviting us to participate. And earned media is also referred to as public relations. And we have quite an effort with that particular silo relative to Astrotourism as well. And I'll share where we've been with that and some of those successes. We are working very much together with Lowell Observatory, and we have created a marketing plan, and I had shared some of the target audience and the geographies that we're after. We do have some more videos in the plan. Actually, we will be pushing out in June with some videos that were created by a social media influencer that Lowell Observatory had a strong hand in selecting and getting them out here to Flagstaff. We'll go to the next slide.
We all know.
All right, here's a little bit of our paid media. So on the left, lower left over here, this is an ad, a call out that was also served in Metro Phoenix. What you're looking at here is a cover of a 4-sided insert that appeared in the Arizona Republic. And this piece dropped in mid-December, reached more than 200,000 households. And among various types of content, you can see we were talking about downtown, of course, accommodations, responsible visitation with stay and play responsibly, and then of course encouraging people to include Astrotourism on their itinerary when they were planning on visiting Flagstaff. Here in the middle is an ad that most recently pushed out in the Pine magazine, reaching NAU's alumni, and this published this month in May. Over here is an ad. This particular ad pushed out internationally. So this ad was created and delivered to reach our French market. France is in our top 5 countries for visitation. Any questions here? This is probably a good time too for me to interject as far as looking ahead. We will be in Astronomy magazine in the September-October issue. Danielle, you know that that's something that we've been working on for quite some time, and we did just receive approval from the Arizona Office of Tourism to use some grant funds on that, so we're pretty excited about that. And then also Discover Magazine will be in there as well. I did hear a little bit about the Star Party. We are big supporters of the Star Party, and we do push out that messaging in our owned, earned, and paid media channels. And most recently, if you go to our festivals page, I believe the Star Party should be populated there as well. Our festivals do very, very well in the city. Here is an example of our paid digital efforts. And these efforts began in November. There was a slight pause, about a 60-day pause, and we will be picking this up again starting in June. Any comments here? So think about, these are the ads that you're going to see perhaps when you're searching maybe Flagstaff Astronomy or First Dark Sky City. These ads will likely come up in your search. Actually, that's wrong because you're in Flagstaff. Remember, I had mentioned the geographies. If you are, and I know we have some people in Tucson, again, these ads are not being served today, but starting in June, they will be. It's very likely. I'm hopeful that you'll be served this ad. I'd love to hear from you if you do receive it or if you don't receive it.
This is Barry. I have a question. What social media sites do you also advertise on?
Yep, social media is coming up in the next few slides, but I can tell you that we're very active primarily with Facebook and Instagram. We do dabble with TikTok and Twitter even more so. And then we also have a YouTube channel. Barry, do you follow us? And actually everybody on the call, I would encourage you, if you're not following us, to please follow us.
I don't have a Facebook account, and I volunteered to put us on Instagram. I don't know a thing about it, and I'm going on vacation next week, but when I get back, I'm going to try and learn how to do it. So that's where I am.
Sure, Barry. We do have a staff person who is largely working in our social media channel. If you need a little bit of help, I'm sure she could offer you some suggestions.
Good.
Again, it's all of us rowing together, right? A rising tide, right? So if you succeed with your handles, we feel we will too.
Now, I have one more question. Is it possible to get a link to our website on your webpage, or are we already on there? I'm not sure if we're on there.
I am going to hope that you are already on there. I can't tell you without leaving my site.
Okay.
And if you are not, I can tell you that we can put an outbound link, providing that you extend us an outbound link on your site as well.
Sure.
There you go. And that kind of teamwork actually helps elevate search engine optimization. So the more we can outbound link and inbound link, the stronger the search engine bots see each of our domains.
Yeah, this membership drive involves all kinds of things. It's marketing, and it's also fundraising. Everything's sort of intertied. So my hat is membership, but it's also involving marketing for sure.
Yeah, I think in everything we do, we're always marketing, right? Even when we're not volunteering, and even when we're not working, just being ourselves, there's some sort of marketing that's happening.
For sure.
Yep. Here is a small example of some earned media. Let's see, this ran, looks like last June, Lisa Davis. Lisa Davis writes for USA Today, and our team worked with her. And the reach for this particular story, hold on to your pants here. The reach was 46 million people. So the article was picked up and digitally published in 15 other major outlets, including Florida Today, The Coloradonian, Yahoo, and Daily World. And the story below, this was published by a travel writer, Emily Thompson. We host FAM tours. FAM tours stands for familiarization tours. And what that means is that we will vet, and again, working with the Arizona Office of Tourism and through some of the platforms that we have, we will vet journalists, influencers, and host their stay in Flagstaff. And when we host their stay, that often includes them going to attractions and participating in what the city offers. And the expectation is that they amplify that message on their platforms. So in this instance, Emily was a journalist in which we hosted. I do not have the stats on her reach, but it's fair that she was vetted, and her audience now becomes aware of what Flagstaff has. Again, another audience that has influence, right? So she's using her sphere of influence to tell the Flagstaff story. It's exactly what we want. So there's a little bit on earned media here. And then also here on this next slide, is this too small to read?
No.
Okay, good. So you can see where we've been with earned media, and this is just from January of this year. So San Francisco Gate, Metro Phoenix, Ahwatukee Lifestyle, Beer Freaks is in Florida, and Florida is definitely an emerging market for Flagstaff. So happy to be there. And then there was content. This was during Arizona Beer Week. I think I mentioned earlier that we do very similar to how we support Astrotourism. We support our restaurants, we support our breweries. And we did host Beer Freaks, which is a podcast. Epic Kids is a journalist, hosted them. Off the Strip, primarily food writers, but in the Las Vegas market. So key to Flagstaff.
Did we offer any of these people any scope time?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Did we offer any of these people scope time? Time with the telescope under the stars?
Yeah, I'm quite certain. Danielle, do any of these look familiar to you?
Oh yeah. We had Beer Freaks and Off the Strip at Lowell.
Yeah, and we Danielle, I don't know. We talk. You're probably talking with one of our team members once or twice, once a week or every other week. Would you say?
Yeah, more often. In fact, in a little bit, I'm going to have to depart and receive a FAM tour from Arizona Office of Tourism here at Lowell.
Yeah, are they? Did you see France last week?
Nope. But tonight is Australia.
Yeah. Great. Happy to hear that. Yeah, we're always offering. I say always. I should say often. partnering with Lowell and Meteor Crater and USGS, getting scope time. I believe too, we've even brought journalists out to the Star Party. I think most frequently, or in the past, most recently, Bonnie Stevens has been our point of contact. Here is another method that we use to push out communication. We do email campaigns to visitors as well as locals. So 2 different audiences. What we're looking at here is communication to our visitors. This database, I believe, is over 30,000 people. And you can see here some of the content that we have pushed out, talking about our lunar legacy, our commitment to stargazing, first international dark sky city. That's just part of our elevator pitch anymore. And talking about elevator pitch, we will be going to an international travel trade show, which includes media, and that starts next week in San Antonio. And rest assured, our dark skies, the world's best destination for astrotourism, the world's first dark sky city, all of these things are talked about with journalists. And it's kind of like a speed dating event, except with appointments. So we are talking with media that wants to talk and learn about Flagstaff. Here is Astro Alexandra. This is a social media influencer I mentioned earlier that was part of the Arizona Office of Tourism grant, and she was vetted through or with the team at Lowell Observatory. She visited, I think she was here for 3 days, had a full itinerary. It did include Lowell Observatory. It did include Meteor Crater. I believe we even took her out to the volcano fields. Of course, she went to the Grand Canyon. She went to Dark Sky Brewery. This is her wheelhouse. If you have a chance, look Astro Alexandra up. You know, I've got some stats on her that I think that would be pretty impressive for me to share with you. Let's see her. She's quite an influencer. She has 267,000 followers on Instagram and more than 2 million followers on TikTok. She did Instagram posts, Instagram and Facebook stories. She created reels. As a matter of fact, some of her videos are in the process of a reproduction of sorts on our team side. And we're going to be pushing out a new video starting in June through the grant promoting Astrotourism. Looking at social media, here are some of our handles and some of the Astrotourism related posts that we've pushed out. You can see this is on Facebook. The reach was 6,600, engagement 103. Engagement's a big deal. That is how the platform measures success, is engagement. It's not so much followers. It is true engagement. So those are people that are sharing, they're commenting. Over here, this particular, this is a video. This is on our Discover Flagstaff handle. You can see world's first international dark sky city, home of Pluto. This reach was 11,300 people, engagement nearing 1,000. And then here's another example. Reach was the better part of 16,000, engagement 480. What did she say? Yeah, she's talking.
By engagement, you mean they've signed up as a follower?
No, they engaged with the post. They
Okay.
commented on the post. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Her followers, as I had mentioned on TikTok, she's got more than 2 million. Yeah, it's serious.
I'm gonna tap into this.
I know it is. It's a whole different world. It really is. But she also, you know, she talked about historic brewing. She went to Starlight Lanes, focusing on our Route 66 assets. She went to Brightside Bookstore, and I think I'd mentioned Sunset Crater as well. Any questions? What else? I guess over to you. That's a little bit. That's a high level of what we do.
So I have a comment or something I'd like to say. I noticed that several of the pictures were wonderful pictures showing Wupatki National Monument with the sky and the stars. But to my knowledge, the park closes at sundown and you can't camp there. So how do people access the dark sky at Wupatki, given the limitations of the Park Service?
I can't answer that right now. I don't know. We do try and tie in culture. That's a big part of our messaging. So it could be very well, we're showing that rich indigenous culture underneath that beautiful canopy with general messaging. I do know that we do have some monuments, I believe, that are dark sky certified.
Well, yeah, I mean, Petrified Forest is dark sky certified. It's a international dark sky park, but you can't camp there, and so you can't see the sky at night, and it's kind of frustrating.
I don't know. I can say that it's probably a large net, getting them to experience the culture in Flagstaff, knowing that the dark skies are there. And I don't think necessarily too that they have to camp to enjoy the dark skies nearby. All right, anything else?
This is a very impressive presentation, Lori. Thank you very much. I just had one question. How do you actually get a handle on how effective the money that you spend actually is? In other words, people would still come to Flagstaff even if you didn't advertise, would they not? So
Okay, what was the last part of the question, Don?
People would still come to Flagstaff even if you didn't advertise. So what is the increment or the effectiveness or the money that you spend to attract people to come to Flagstaff? Any way of getting a handle on that?
Yeah, there definitely is. We definitely have a return on investment, and overall, our return on investment is just a few dollars less than what the state quotes. So we're over for every ad dollar, and this is again a large net, not just Astrotourism, but for every ad dollar we spend, we get more than $200 in return. And I do have the ability to drill down further. I just didn't prepare that for this particular presentation. What I can say too is that when we advertise, you saw our URL on every single ad, and that is the call to action. So the fact that Astrotourism is the number 6 landing page tells us, and again, that's one of many platforms that we use to measure our success, but that tells you that there's demand. And if somebody is coming to our website and doing research, they are that much lower in the buying funnel to getting here.
Oh, okay. Very good. That's what I was looking for. Any other questions then?
Lori, thank you so much for presenting for us. It was a really nice presentation to see everything that's happening.
And Lori, if I could just weigh in pretty briefly here, what would it take for us to be a little better connected when it comes to having a presence at various events, and just making ourselves more of a part of outreach when it comes to all things dark skies that you guys do? I know members of the board of this organization think of themselves to a certain extent as the people who are the guardians, more or less, of the dark skies here in town, and we'd like to have a little more recognition and also a little more opportunity to share appreciation of the dark skies, really beyond just astrotourism and the like. What would it take for us to just sort of be looped in there?
I think, first of all, James, and this entire audience, thank you. Sometimes our organization feels that we're out there and maybe not getting as much support. So we absolutely welcome and would love more participation. And I think even earlier in the phone call, perhaps even before you jumped on, there was a little bit about that. We welcome it. So what is it going to take? I would suggest, James, we have monthly coffee clutch meetings that are mostly virtual. They're the second Friday of every month. They begin at 8:30 a.m. Tell me, are you getting Discover Flagstaff communication?
I mean, I'm aware of it just sort of generally, but I like as a formal organization, I don't believe we are. So
can you rattle off your email address and I will get you added to the distribution list? Coffee Clutch is going to be your, that's going to open a lot of doors because many stakeholders and partners attend Coffee Clutch. So not only will you be front and center for Discover Flagstaff, but the organization itself, you'll find, will begin to intersect with various other organizations within the city that will open up those doors. You mentioned.
Yeah, that would be great. I'll drop my email in the chat box there for you.
Okay, that would be perfect. And then in regards to festivals, I know Sabrina Beard, she's our marketing specialist. I believe she's been reaching out to the organization, trying to get more information for your star party. Does that sound familiar? Have you chatted with her?
I have not chatted with her. I mean, I am relatively new to this job as the executive director here. It's been about a month, so and we don't have an executive director specific email set up for me. What you see down there is my personal email, but please feel free to pass it on to her. I'd love to have a chance to chat.
That's perfect. And then I am also going to put in here Sabrina's email. So vice versa, if you could reach out to her. We are hot and heavy right now with our festival marketing and we'll market festivals. We do print and digital and earned media website as well. If you have a chance, go to discoverflagstaff.com, click on festivals or search festivals and see how Star Party is represented. That's a good starting point too. And then also, so not only Coffee Clutch, another opportunity is we also have a team meeting every Monday morning at 8:15. If you can let me know if you would like to join that, we can make an introduction to the entire team. So Danielle stepped out because she had a FAM and she's meeting, the person leading our FAM is our international trade manager, Sherry Lamont. And you heard she's got Aussies in town. Australia is a big market for us, top 5, top 6. But that's an opportunity too for you to perhaps speak with those people. They're trade operators.
We would love that chance. You know, we've been trying to make inroads with local communities, but abroad would be as well to try and help other people, you know, achieve this sort of dark sky status we have here. That's a big mission for us. We'd love any connection along those lines.
Yep. So I'm going to put Sabrina Beard's email in the chat, and I will also put Sherry Lamont's email in the chat. All right, guys.
Well, thank you a lot. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And, you know, that's just a little bit about what we do. If you guys have any epiphanies, any ideas, any thoughts, and James, it sounds like meeting more frequently, I'm sure we'll grease the wheels a little bit more and get some more opportunities going.
It would be great. We'd love to.
All right.
Excellent. Thanks again, Lori. We do appreciate this. Very educational.
Yes. Great. My pleasure. Thanks all. Thanks for inviting Discover Flagstaff.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.